to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you into the kitchen with me this evening where we're going to make an old-fashioned and vintage recipe as well. And it's called Tamale Pie. Absolutely love it. My grandmother used to make it, and then as a little bit older child, they started selling it in kits that you could buy where it had the cornbread mix and the seasoning for your chili and everything in the whole kit. But this time we're making it from scratch because you can't get those kits anymore. It's been a long time since I've seen them, and I'm pretty old, folks. Now, the basis of what tamale pie is you make a really good chili, which we're going to start making here in a bit. And I like my chili chunky. I don't want it too juicy, and I do not like watery chili. I like my chili chunky and thick, where it sticks to your ribs. Now, and the best part about it, we're going to be putting a cornbread topping on top, which, yes, I'll show you how to make the cornbread as well. So let me show you some of the ingredients. Now, I was asked by family, which I am a hired cook, to make this tamale pie for dinner tonight. So I'm making a huge batch, a large batch, so there's going to be leftovers to eat on for days. You can make this in a smaller batch. For single people, you can make it in a small batch using about a pound of good ground beef. Don't buy that cheap stuff. I'm using 80-20 because I couldn't find 90-10. I don't like a whole lot of fat in my chili either. I've got 2 large diced onions and 3 of the most pitiful medium-sized bell peppers I ever saw, but it was all they had. And let me tell you, I experienced something I never have in my lifetime. The 3rd bell pepper I was cutting open, there was a caterpillar inside. There was no hole in the bell pepper at all. I looked around. Got it. I killed it because I didn't know what kind of caterpillar it was. It's a dead one now. Cleaned the bell pepper up, but I've never seen a caterpillar in a bell pepper and there not be a hole that it crawled up in. So yeah, that was weird. Alright, like I said, I'm making a big batch. So I got the big old pot out here. I'm going to get my pan heated up, and I'll bring you back here in just a minute. Okay, the pan is heating up. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Not much. About 2 tablespoons. Because what I do is I saute my onions and bell peppers first. But yeah, you should see my face. In all my life, I have not seen that before. I ain't gonna lie, that was weird as can be. Now I'm gonna season my onions and bell peppers a little bit with a little pepper, plain black pepper. Because like I said, I season in layers. And it has about 3 good pinches of pink salt. It's starting to sizzle. And it's about a half a tablespoon of garlic powder. Now, if you have your own favorite chili recipe, by all means use that recipe, or you can follow mine. Like I said, I'm going to end up making 2 tamale pies. Which is going to be in 2 big casserole dishes. Okay. This garlic powder chunk needed to be broke up. And I'm going to saute this until the onions are translucent, and I will bring you back. Okay, my onions are almost translucent. They're still going to cook some more, so I'm going to go in and take them out. You want to try to get as many out of your pan, but if you can't get them all, that's okay. I'm going to set them aside. Now on to our ground beef, and this is an 80-20. This is 80-20 ground beef, and I'm going to be using 6 pounds. Wonderful trick. A potato masher will help you break it up into smaller pieces. And at the price of hamburger now, you don't want to waste any of it. Alright, I'm going to break this up and bring you back when it's almost cooked. Okay, the hamburger is almost completely cooked. I'm going to strain it here in a bit. It's really aggravating. Hamburger nowadays is just constantly full of grease. But look at how well that potato masher breaks up your hamburger. And that's an old trick I learned. Now, I am going to strain the grease out of here. I'm not going to waste it though. I'm going to strain the grease out because the grease is wonderful to make gravy with later on. Alright, I'm going to get that done and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I have all the grease drained out and put the meat back in the pan. I want to add all the onions and bell peppers back into the pot. Make sure I get all that juice back in there. Oh, it smells so good. And I've got 2 cans, 2 14.5 ounce cans of fire roasted tomatoes. And this is a pound and 13 ounce can of tomato sauce. I knew that was going to happen. Add a little bit of water, rinse that can out. I can already tell it's going to need that other can. The temperature needs to come down some. A little bit of water, swirl that around. Like I said, I like a real thick chili that sticks to your ribs. Now that all my tomatoes are added, let's get some chili seasoning up in here. Now I eyeball about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. I don't have much oregano, but I'm going to use what I have. people don't know that an old secret seasoning for chili is sage. And I'm using really good rubbed sage. For this big pot, about 2 tablespoons. And like Justin Wilson said, add a seasoning, stir it in. Oh, I miss his cooking shows. Now we're going to add some garlic powder. I'm going to need to blend that up again. Once your garlic powder gets lumpy, just put it in a coffee grinder or blender. And blend it back into a powder. Nothing wrong with it. Just means humidity got to it. I want some salt. About a teaspoon of salt. Of course, I'll add salt at the table. Now it's going to start looking and smelling like chili. Season your chili to taste. Oh, I wish y'all could smell this. Now it's taking on the chili look. Add a little bit more. I'm usually a little heavy-handed with mine because I like that robust chili taste. But some chili powders, if you use too much, it can make your chili bitter. And no, I don't add any sugar into my chili. That's just nasty. Okay, let me wipe my spoon off. This is hot, y'all. I'm testing for taste right now, seasoning, see if it needs more. Ooh. Now, another thing I love in my chili is beans. And I like kidney beans, the dark kidney beans. You can use a can or two, and also black beans. Well, family doesn't like beans, so I'm leaving beans out, unfortunately. Because if it was at our place, there'd be beans in here. A lot of beans. like I said, season your chili to your taste. And of course, I like to cook my chili the day before and let it sit overnight. I don't have that option tonight. But this is good. And like you see, that's thick chili. In my opinion, chili is supposed to be good and thick. It'll hold up to a cracker. Or fry bread. Oh, but we're making tamale pie. Alright, I'm going to let this cool down a bit, get things cleaned up, and get ready to put this in casserole dish or dishes and get ready to make some cornbread. I'll bring y'all right back. Okay, welcome back. The chili has cooled down. I've got it in 2 casserole dishes. There's one, and the other one's hid back over here behind the bowl. So now we're going to get busy making up the cornbread. Now, since I'm doing 2 casserole dishes, I'm making a double batch of cornbread. Now, the ingredients will be in the description box below the video for a single batch of cornbread. If you're making a single pan, or if you're multiple panning, I'll put the single batch recipe with cornbread in there. And this is the only cornbread recipe that I have used all my life. I make my cornbread from scratch. That crap they call Jiffy Mix is not cornbread. I don't do sweet cornbread at all. Now, in the bowl I have 3 cups of cornmeal, not cornmeal mix, yellow cornmeal. I have a cup and a half of all-purpose flour. I have 8 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of pink salt. I have a tablespoon of garlic powder. Yes, garlic powder. Season your cornbread. I have, let's see, 2 teaspoons of pink salt, and I have a good several shakings of black pepper. And you want to whisk this together very well. Now we will start with the wet ingredients. Oh, oven's ready. Yes, that's right. You need to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Because basically what you're doing is going to be baking the cornbread, and the chili is going to reheat. Now I use real butter. This is a half a cup of melted butter. I don't use margarine. And you're going to want, it's a double batch, so you're going to want 4 eggs. And I'm using extra large eggs. Telling you they're proud of these eggs anymore. It's ridiculous. You want to take a fork and whisk them together very well. And depends on the humidity around you. Start out with, and I found some buttermilk, whole milk buttermilk, real buttermilk, not no skim stuff. start out with 2 cups. And if it's still too dry, add a half a cup more. It all depends on your flour, how dry your flour is. If you don't want to use buttermilk, you can use whole milk. Yep, it's going to need that little half a cup. When you store your flour correctly, it will be very dry and it will take extra moisture. And you want your batter good and thick, and make sure that you mix it very well. You don't want any pockets of flour. The flour cornmeal mix at the bottom. Oh, this smells so good. Now here comes the fun part. Getting this carefully on top of your casserole, of your chili. Now you want to try to keep it on top of your chili. Don't push it down into the chili, because it's going to float on top of your chili. You want to spread it best you can. You want to try to get it to the edges. Don't worry, sometimes the chili won't cooperate with you. But you want to try to keep your cornbread layer as thin as possible. You don't want it too thin, but you want enough to have a good crust on it. And I said you don't want your cornbread too thick, but you don't want to make it too thin. It's been a while since I've got to make it. I might have to add a little more buttermilk to that to thin it out just a little bit. You don't want it runny, but you want to be able to spread it. side. Ugh. Let me tell you, it's heavy too. Yep, I'm going to add just a little more buttermilk to it. Just to thin it out, just a little bit. Not a whole lot. Man, that's just something about the smell of buttermilk and cornbread. There we go. See how it spreads just a little bit better. You don't want to make it too thin or too runny. If you see any little holes, definitely fill them up as well. Uh-oh. I can see this first one's already starting to try to rise on me, which is a good thing. It means your baking powder and your buttermilk are getting happy. And my mouth is watering thinking about this. Now, if you want to, you can put these on baking sheets, cookie sheets, so they don't bubble over. But these should be fine. If not, be clean in an oven. Alright, let's get these put in the oven. And like I said, the oven is at 400. It's strictly to bake the cornbread. Oh God, this one's heavy. It's in the oven baking, and what you want to do is make sure that your cornbread is fully cooked and golden brown on top. You can do a butter knife, a toothpick, whatever. Just remember, once you go past the cornbread layer, you will get the chili, the tomato sauce and everything of the chili on it. So don't worry about that. Just make sure your cornbread's cooked and golden brown. And I'll bring you back as soon as it's done. See you here in a little bit. Okay, they're ready. Time to get them out of the oven. Look at that. Cornbread completely done. Chili bubbling. It bubbled just a little bit over one corner did. And now for the last bit. And this is completely optional. I'm going to sprinkle a little cheese. On top. Let me cut that oven off. It's already got warm up in here. Let me tell you, it smells like a tamale. Like I made a massive amount of tamales. The cheese might not completely melt, but that's okay. See, let's not waste any. Alright, I'm going to let these sit for a little while, and I will bring you back as soon as I plate it up. And we're going to have a very nice but plain side salad with some cheese and some good old chunky blue cheese dressing. I'll see you back here in a little while. Okay, I have a nice little side salad. As you can tell, the cornbread is completely done. Beautiful chili. Of course, I'll scoot the cornbread back on top, but it's completely done. And it smells just like a homemade tamale. Now, I need to take a bite of this. It's going to take a while for it to cool. Let me lift the camera up a little bit. I've been looking forward to this one. Homemade from scratch. Smells just like a homemade tamale. Oh my God. This brings back childhood memories. Absolutely wonderful, very easy to make. I'll have all the ingredients in the description box below. Simple, easy, homemade. You can also put sour cream on top. You can put salsa if you want to. Right now, it's perfect just like it is. Alright, I gotta stop. Simple, easy, homemade, and yes, you can do it also. Vintage recipe, old-fashioned recipe, a recipe that's dear to my heart. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it encourages you to make your own homemade tamale pie. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Stay safe, stay sound, continue to stock your pantries. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed. I'll see you soon, everyone. Take care.